course, it's big news. It's the fallout from Prime Minister Boris Johnson's apology to Parliament yesterday after he was fined for breaking his own lockdown laws. So, Gloria, what did you make of the apology? Is it enough? Should we move on, or should he be held to account fully?
Well, I want to say this 1,000,000%. I understand people who weren't able to have their weddings, couldn't have a funeral for their family, couldn't visit their mum or dad in hospital, couldn't go into a care home. I really, really understand that, and I get it, and I feel very sorry for people when they talk about it. However, I do feel that once we've had an independent report and we've had this investigation, it's been going on for weeks and weeks on end, and I feel that there's so much else going on in the world and in our lives in this country that, if I'm being really honest, although I understand the back chat, I'm getting bored of the topic. I just think we've discussed it enough. And, you know, he did say that he bitterly regretted it. He did say something like 35 times in the Commons that he was really sorry. So where do you go from there, really? And I feel that, you know, for example, I was just looking up a note today, 40% of people in this country are facing fuel poverty. A lot of people don't know how they're going to feed their children. Ukraine continues to absolutely terrorise all of us, really, when we watch it. So there is so much else to be doing and talking about rather than going over and over and over again, Partygate. Well, that's how I feel.
I have to say, in his defence, and I'm going to say something quite nice about Boris now.
Good.
Now, you know, get the alarms out. I do believe he meant it. But I think it was completely misguided, because what he was saying sorry for was not what he should be saying sorry for. I think he should be saying sorry, properly apologising, and maybe doing more for all the damage that's been done over the last 2 years. And a lot of it has been unnecessary. They've admitted that much. The damage to the economy, as you say as well, you know, the cost of living crisis that's coming, the damage to children, the damage to families, the damage to people's mental health. It's absolutely massive. And yet it's all just, look, I've said sorry because I had a cake at a party or whatever it was, and let's all move on. It's all done. But, you know, he did mean that. But he needs to do that for the other reasons that I've just stated.
But yet, Carol, some of the things that you've been talking about are international. You know, he had to deal with international things. And I just sort of feel that there's just so much else, and politics are politics, and all prime ministers, human beings, make mistakes.
But
whether you think that Margaret Thatcher did,
it's not a mistake.
No,
it wasn't a mistake. What happened over the last 2 years is not a mistake. And international, yes, it was. It was all over the world. Yeah. Exactly. But the point is,
still happening, by the way.
I know, but now it's the realisation has hit a hell of a lot of people and a hell of a lot of governments that actually a lot of it was really unnecessary, and they need to apologise for that.
If I'm honest, looking at his video, he looked like he was sorry of himself. He was tired of, should I say, of saying sorry. And for me personally, just the word sorry, I feel like it's been used so much that it hasn't really got the weight to it that it used to. Myself, if I apologise to somebody, I would usually apologise for what I've done. Like you're saying, Carol, you know, apologise for what you have done, you know, how you're trying to work around not doing it, how you're reflecting on yourself, on your behaviour and what it's caused. And I think...
And only if you mean it.
If you mean it. You know what I mean? Because there's so many... It's like it's an empty promise, isn't it? It's a continuous thing. If you feel like you could just say sorry and get on to the next thing and say sorry again, it doesn't mean anything. It's quite empty. So I think it's about, you know, the Prime Minister, anybody, in fact, who's going to say, I'm sorry, I apologise. Reflect on what you've done. Talk about how you've realised it's hurt their feelings, the impact that it's had, so that you are saying to them, you're learning to not do this again, to not hurt them again.
Judi,
otherwise,
it's better somebody say sorry. There are some people who never say sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
Well, that's the worst.
Or if they say to you, I'm sorry,
people
you
make
feel
an
like
effort
that.
to say sorry, it's got to be something. I mean, if I'm being honest from my own point of view, and my mother taught me this years and years ago, I actually quite like the process of apologising and saying I'm sorry. I find it quite cleansing in a weird way if I know that I've done something wrong and I've, I don't know, hurt somebody's feelings, broken something, whatever. And I just think that, you know, sorry is not as empty as you're making it out to be.
I don't think. Look, the reality is not for
always,
everybody.
but-
Not for everybody. But unfortunately, look, for you, that's how you was brought up. That's how you feel. You think of it in a way where you can reflect on what you've done. You're releasing the attention. But for some people, we have to be real. Some people just apologise because they think in that moment it can just move forward. We can forget about what I've done to you.
Yeah.
And we know anybody that's been hurt in any circumstances, sometimes it takes more than just those 2 words. We want to know that you understand how you made us feel.
Yeah.
We'll never forget. I can forget what you said, but I can't forget how you made me feel. And that's on Maya Angelou. So I would say it has to have more depth in it than just those few words because it becomes
But
empty.
it's like an epidemic as well. Everybody wants everyone to apologise for everything. It doesn't matter when it happened. It might have happened 200-300 years ago, but everybody wants you to apologise for everything.
That's a culture
And
now,
it's
isn't
like,
it?
well, it is a culture, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, so it does become meaningless.
Yeah.
Like you say, Judi, it becomes like a word that people just go, all right, sorry. And that's that. And everyone's supposed to move on. But, you know, you do have to realise what kind of damage has been done.
I know,
and
but
accept
Carol,
it.
with
Take
all the issues,
responsibility for
with all
it.
the issues that we talked about in this country, I bet you every single person watching today worried about their energy bills, worried about food bills,
Of course.
worried about their rent, worried about their mortgage. You can't bang on and on and on and on for years about something that's already been investigated
I know.
without addressing the current problems.
Yes, I know, but how do you think?
But
all
what's
that
your
is-
answer
Why is
to
all that
it?
happening?
Well, the
why
thing
is
is,
that
some
happening?
people- some people
Why is
feel
there a
like
cost of
you're-
living
The
crisis?
sad thing is, with the apology and sorry, some people will almost feel like you can just get to a stage where you've said it so much, you're actually saying, I'm sorry you felt like that, which is not an apology.
Yes.
You know, I'm sorry I got caught.
Like it's
You know?
your
Yeah.
fault you
Do
feel
you
like
get what I
that.
mean?
It's a
Yeah.
little bit like my 2 children who are under the age of 3 and just they constantly think, sorry, and then it's fine. If I just say sorry straight away, Mummy won't shout at me. You know, it's like, there is a nature of that. But certainly if someone were to come to me with a genuine apology about whatever it might be, and I really felt they meant it, that would actually mean a great deal to me.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
all to do with, as you say, where it comes
Yeah,
from and the
yeah.
meaning behind
And
it.
I think
timing.
something I've learnt myself, sorry, is that, you know, if someone has done something to you, sometimes it's about you actually thinking, I'm not going to allow you to have the power over me, that I have to wait for your apology
Yeah.
and find my own space to heal.
Yeah,
You know, because you
exactly.
could wait forever.
Absolutely.
But Carol
And-
did say that Boris meant it yesterday, so
Yeah.
that's something from the chat.
At the time,
at the time. Well, we asked all of you at home, should we accept Boris Johnson's apology and move on? 71% of you said no.
Oh,
we should
wow.
not. Yeah, which is quite interesting.
well, what do they want then?
Well,
They want him to resign?
Well, a lot of...
What would be the point?
Sort of
What would
kinda
you-
mixed
what would you
view,
replace him
actually, in
with?
terms of comments. I mean, Gina has says if everyone that broke the rules lost jobs, there would only be about 3 people working in the country right now. We need to move on. Anne says, so the buck stops with him, I'm afraid. He's lied time and time again. Tracy says families will never get closure for their loved ones dying alone while he mixed, drank and had fun. They made those rules. They allowed loved ones to suffer alone. They need to be held accountable. It's a relatively mixed bag on the comments, I must say. But, yeah, 71% saying that no, they
That's
can't move
interesting.
on from it. So there we have it.